Freddie, welcome back to St James Park. Just wanted to start by saying thank you so much for your incredible display that you and guys put on Tuesday night. Really made an atmosphere. Had great comments from City fans, fans of Forest, players, staff, and how good it was. Just tell us a little bit about why you did the display.
Well, I thought it's a big occasion, you know, it's the fourth time in the FA Cup in 44 years?
Yep.
So I think the occasion, it was right to do it for them. And I think just to spur and motivate the players on for a game like this and maybe get a win. And I think that helped because the players went out there and they put on a performance and they showed great character to take Nottingham Forest for penalties. So I think the display definitely helped on that front.
And how did you come up with plans for the display? Because it obviously wasn't just yourself. You had a lot of support, but how long did it take you to plan and execute? Really?
Well, previously we've always had the banner at the bottom, so I thought we would keep that and then try again with the foils on either side of the pitch. But obviously we used to have surfers in the big bank. I think we should try something different. So I was taking it back to how we used to with the big flags in the big bank, and I thought that would be brilliant. We all came together, we thought some design ideas, maybe of course sent them over to you to design, and we all just spoke to each other, thought, is there any ideas that anyone has? Just bring them forwards and we could see what they could be and if we could incorporate that.
So you had a band of you that got together to produce these banners and put the foils on the day. How long did it take you to produce something? You were here pretty much all week, weren't you?
Yeah, well, we worked it out between us, between the different types of people that were here on whatever days, and on the day it worked out to about 310 hours of work combined from everyone. So it was definitely a big effort, and I'd say probably the biggest one we've done in the past couple of years, but I think it definitely paid off and I thought it was brilliant.
And you combined that with your studies as well.
Yeah.
Had to be here in the evenings till late.
Till 10, half 10, pretty late.
What is it about the club that made you want to do this? This isn't something that all fans would do. You obviously have a huge connection with the club.
Well, yeah, previously, obviously, we did the displays against Middlesbrough and Birmingham earlier on in the season, which my brother was heavily sort of organising. But unfortunately, this time round, he was busy. So I had to sort of step up and do that. And I'm glad that I had to because I've enjoyed it. It's been stressful, but I think the hard work definitely paid off. And I don't know, I just think my loyalty to this club, I love it with a passion. Obviously, being the drummer here, helps towards that. And actually, the Forest game was 2 years since I started that. So this is my life, this club.
And obviously, this was, not cheap to do.
No.
And you did a fundraiser. Fans and lots of, probably players, people associated with the club as well, donated towards that. So a massive thank you to them. So you were able to do this.
Yeah, definitely. We raised, like £1,200 in the matter of weeks, which is just incredible. I think we have to thank the supporters for that. Everyone came together and helped out. And we do really appreciate that because if it wasn't for that, then there would be no display.
You've had a chance to see the footage now of what it looked like, I guess, different from being underneath the banners. But what did you think of what you created? Yeah,
I thought it was fantastic. Unfortunately, we hit a bit of a snag in the Stano stand and we ran out of foils. So we sort of had to spread them out a little bit. But I think when it came together, it looked brilliant. And especially the flags and the banner down at the bottom in the big bank.
It must be great to read so many comments from people not associated with the club as well and how good they thought it looked.
Yeah, even Nottingham Forest fans were saying the display was brilliant and our fans were great, and that just shows how passionate our fans truly are. And it was an honour to be able to show that on national TV.
You touched on it just now, but obviously you're the home drummer, and when you're away games you drum as well. How did that come about? How were you past the drumsticks?
Well, I'm saying about 10 years ago, my brother also used to be the drummer. It was either before or just at the start of the Red Legion days. So I think that definitely helped towards it. But it was at MK Dons 2 years ago, and Jack Thorne takes a drum home, told me that the guy who was the drummer at the time didn't really want to do it anymore. So I was sort of like, I could give it a go, see how it is. I might not be brilliant, but, I've got the family heritage there, so it might be in our blood. And I haven't looked back since. It was my first game away at Burton on the 11th of February, and I haven't looked back since. It's been amazing.
You came into drumming with no experience?
No, I didn't know how to use a drum kit or anything like that previously.
It really definitely helps. The players say it themselves, how much that helps on a match day to really drive them when they're playing towards the big bank and kind of try and suck the ball into the net. Yeah,
definitely. I think it's a great motivator, and there's people out there that don't like drums and think they're tin pot or whatever, but I think, especially at like a lower league team, like League 2, League 1, lower capacity grounds where we get 6,000-7,000, I think it can really help create an atmosphere, whereas obviously teams that are gonna be against drums have like 20,000 plus attendance, and obviously they're gonna be able to create an atmosphere without a drum. Not saying we wouldn't be able to, but I think it definitely helps towards that.
How does it feel to be in the heart of it all, drumming, when to see a winning or have just scored and it's a bit of pandemonium on here?
It's a feeling that I can't describe at all. It's nothing I've ever felt before. The feeling when we get a goal, and it just gives me tons of confidence just to spur the team on, get the fans going, and hopefully get a win. And it's amazing.
And how does it work in terms of what you're drumming or what songs are being sung? Who decides that? Is that on you, or is it?
Yeah, a little bit. I think previously what carried over the normal beat, like the sort
classic,
of carries over. It's the classic, but yeah, I tend to mix it up sometimes. Try a few things, see what sounds good, see what might not be so good. But yeah, I think it carries over.
I think you kind of touched on it, but how did your ecstasy journey kind of start? Do you remember the first game you came to, and when you suddenly realised that you were hooked?
I think, funny enough, it might have been the first game, was Liverpool away in the FA Cup, and I went with my dad and a couple of my brothers. And then, since I was young, I used to come in the IP stand with my dad. And then a couple of years back, probably 3-4 years, when we were going for promotion in League Two, I started coming in the big bank, loved it, and then it's just progressed from there.
And what's next, would you say? Are the plans to reuse some of the banners and things from that display?
Yeah, definitely. I think a lot of these banners can be reused for just normal match days. Some of them maybe not. But yeah, hopefully they seem durable enough, and I think we could use them for a long time to come.
Brilliant. We just wanted to say thank you very much for what you did. We've got a little gift here to give to you from us and the players, because they really loved it. So
Thank you.
Thank you.
Oh, that's amazing.
The least we could do for all the efforts you put in.
Thank you. I really appreciate that.
No problem.